What is going on, garden fans? Welcome back to the Permaculture Homestead. It is March 2020. I am in Zone 8, South Carolina, living on 2,000 square feet in the suburbs, and I am just going to do a big walkabout my whole food forest right now. Kind of talk about what's growing, what's budding, what frost damage we may or may not have gotten here within the past couple weeks. Things are changing. Our last scheduled frost date is in March, the 14th and 17th. And I'm just kind of getting the whole place kind of ready for spring. Now there's lots of empty areas throughout the food forest. I'm actually direct seeding lots of herbs and vegetables. This is chamomile right here, and there's actually a whole carpet of chamomile growing throughout this area here. So as we get into spring and as I pull out my greenhouse and start vegetables are growing, I'm going to be pulling back areas of weeds, quote unquote. This is really food. Our dominant understory right now is Stellara media, and I eat this. I put this in garden salads. It actually tastes like bean sprouts or noodles. To me, I personally feel like it tastes like noodles, but freshly eaten, this is good for humans. It's edible. I eat it. I eat the weeds, so we have had some pretty cold temperatures here lately, colder for our environment. Things like my goji berry don't seem affected whatsoever. This is a hardy Himalayan plant. It does just fine in Zone 8, South Carolina. In fact, they're starting to green up, and the 5-degree temperatures we've had hadn't really bothered them. Kale, collards, all over the food forest. Some of them are flowering, and I'm letting them flower. Things like my pineapple guava, no problem. These shrubs are going to get much bigger. So the whole food forest looking pretty good for sure. Now that we're getting into March, it's lots going to change very quickly. All these sticks and vines are going to turn into a food forest. You won't even be able to see the white wall behind us. Elderberry are doing great. 25-degree temperatures hasn't harmed them. Having a fence around my whole yard does kind of give me a bit of a microclimate. I found that the area in here, especially because it's depressed and a little lower, the temperature stays a little bit warmer back here than around us. Because I have this living mulch ground cover of weeds, things like blackberries are able to come up. They're a little frost damaged here at the tip, but the plant is not dead yet, and I have blackberries coming up all around. And they're going to soon be the dominant understory when all this Stellara media dies off and turns into a living mulch. I have rosemary back here, the Mediterranean herbs, they're doing just fine. Gummy berry are all sprouting out. This is Elaeagnus multifloria and Elaeagnus umbellata. I got both varieties here on the property. Things that have been frost damaged are mulberries. This is a local black mulberry. We have had, here again, 25-degree temperatures have been the coldest within the past month, and it's kind of frostbitten the leaves. But mulberries are very hardy. This thing will come back and probably still fruit for us this year. That's one mulberry. Here's another black mulberry with the same story. A little bit of the frostbitten leaves that have been coming out because we had really warm temperatures in February and January. But it's starting to bud back up and put out new growth. It's here again, mulberries are very hardy for Zone 8, anywhere in Zone 8. Even if we get these late springs, these late fake springs, they come back pretty well. Blackberries, once again, doing good. Blackberries are all over the place. They're going to start coming up here in March. The fig tree I got here isn't harmed at all by any of the frost. It's kind of resting between a whole bunch of other plants that once again got this microclimate here to kind of keep it warm, to give it a bit of a windbreak. Some of the windbreak even includes this peach tree right here that's really short right now, and I'm going to keep it this short. Peach tree is blooming, and it hasn't had any issues with frost. No frost damage on this peach tree. And then there's another peach tree about 6-7 feet away from that one. Same story, pruned down more like a shrub, and it's flowering with no problem whatsoever. Okay, both of these peaches are kind of housing pawpaws right over here, and there's a whole pawpaw patch right here I'm going to talk about. Now it all started with this mother plant right here, and she is actually about to start budding out and putting on pawpaw flowers. I'm going to be doing a much better job this year of hand pollinating my pawpaws. I'm going to try to cross pollinate too. I have a patch of pawpaws there, and I have a patch of pawpaws right here. So things are really dense back here, really tight. This pawpaw patch has a bunch of pawpaws growing off of it. The mother put off a baby, and then 2 years ago it put off another baby, and last year that baby put on a baby. So now I went from one pawpaw to having 1, 2, 3, 4 mature pawpaws that are kind of marching their way down the landscape here, and I'm going to let them do that. Eventually that peach tree is going to be nothing but a very small shrub, and the pawpaw trees are going to be the dominant overstory. So I'm toning down some things and turning up some things. They're more well adapted to this environment that I'm living in. Here's another one of those gummy berry, the nitrogen fixing Eleagnus. This one's probably an umbellata, it's a little bit thornier. The multifloria I have aren't so wild and thorny. Here is, I got a hugel mound, 3 hugel mounds here. And there's a few things growing on these. We have pomegranate 1, great for zone 8, great for Mediterranean environment. They're starting to put on some red tip growth, but there's also some areas where some of the growth has been frostbitten. So here again though, it's a pomegranate, it's going to do really well. It likes these conditions here. It has one of those Eleagnus next to it, sprouting as nitrogen fixation. There's a ground cover of lemon balm and mint. Here's some lemon balm right here. There's mint under here. Lots of mint is going to be coming up soon. And I'm using elderberry as building material here, but it's so hardy that just sticking a stick in the ground has sprouted out elderberry. So I'm using these canes as building material, but they're rooting themselves and basically propagating on their own. That is how hardy elderberry is. Okay, garden fans, what else do I got back here? I got a jujube tree that's doing just fine. It's not ready to do anything yet. These guys pretty much wait for hotter temperatures anyway to start blooming. So it's kind of just in a protected state right now, still kind of dormant. I'm adding more jujube to this food forest this spring. That's just one of the plans I got. So there's a whole gamut of stuff here. There's a muscadine growing on the fence. There are blackberry canes growing all over the place. There are elderberry canes growing over in this corner that I need to probably prune down some, straighten it up. There's a beautyberry, a Mexican beautyberry bush that is, look at this, putting on some leaf action and not really affected by any of the frosty temperatures we had. We have 2 plum trees in the back. This is an Ozark plum and a Santa Rosa plum. Both of them are now flowering in full, and they haven't been damaged or bothered by any of the cold temperatures we had. So let me get up close here. Yeah, lots of flowers on this tree. Most of them are looking really good. Yeah, really good. And I need to do a better job. I need to actually come out here myself and open up the canopy some. I'm definitely getting cross-pollination of these 2 trees. Even with 25-degree temperatures, they hadn't really had any problem holding their flower this year. Now that's hasn't always been the case, and here again we're not even to our last frost date, so anything can change from day to day. That's the great thing about a garden, I guess. What I like about this garden is that it's very diverse. We have a lot of different things growing, and that kind of helps with the redundancy. If one crop fails, well, not all the crops fail. We have something else. Chickens are doing a great job. Backyard chickens are great for any homesteader. Do backyard chickens. Please, get rabbits too. Rabbits are great. I use a rabbit tractoring system here. Here's my fig tree, another fig tree back here, same story as the other. It's just now budding up, but it's not going to open up until it gets much warmer temperatures. So this is the food forest right now, garden fans. A little bit of a longer tour, longer visit. Appreciate y'all coming back here and checking out my little garden. If you could, please leave a like. Please share this content. That really helps us out. Let's get a buzz over permaculture and suburban, self-sufficiency, which is really what I'm trying to practice here. Heck, if we're all quarantined at home, I'm glad I got a home like this. This is something to do. I've got food here. I'm not going to go hungry. I'm not going to starve. But I need more people doing this. Everybody should be doing this. Some people grow things better than other people. And you know, when communities come together and grow to try to be self-sufficient, it's amazing what might actually happen. I got blueberries out here, garden fans. Blueberries are sprouting out and doing good. They're interspersed with Elaeagnus. I mean, I have food growing all over the place here, and this going into our 7th season, I think is actually going to be, once again, the most abundant. It just gets more and more abundant every year. Appreciate y'all watching. Please like, share, and subscribe as always. God bless.